Nobody's on Zoom? Okay. All right. Welcome, everyone, to the West Haven Special Service District. Today is May 18th, 2026. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance by James Jensen. Then our prayer or a moment of silence will be by Clarence.
Stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our Father in heaven, we gather this evening grateful for all our many blessings, the health that we enjoy, grateful for our families and for their love and support, grateful for this wonderful city that we live in, and are grateful for all those who sacrifice and volunteer to make this city a great city. We're grateful for good friends and neighbors all around us. And we're grateful to be gathered at this time and ask thee to guide us and direct us, that we might be inspired and prompted to know and make the best decisions on behalf of the citizens of this city. And this we humbly ask for in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
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 Thanks, James. Thanks, Clarence. Any public presentations at this time? Okay, we'll go from that. The consent agenda, number 4. Has everybody had a chance to look at the agenda to see if there's any concerns, any questions, anything we need to discuss? Okay. So with that, A is the action on the minutes for April 20th, 2026. B, billing adjustments for April of 2026. C, monthly accounts payable for May of 2026. D, West Haven City, $55,632.15 for invoice 05202606 administrative services for April of 26. E, West Haven City, $85,899.55 for March garbage fees. F, West Haven City, $29,132.15 March storm drain fees. G, Dorset Technologies, $13,398.91. Invoice J008350, 2700 West Lift Station, SCADA. H, Gardner Engineering, $5,789.54. Invoice 6374 for the 2700 West Lift Station Engineering. And I, Central Weber, $44,607. Invoice 2328972, fourth quarter treatment fees. I, yeah, $444,607. $444,607 for the invoice 2328972. Okay. No thoughts, no comments? Things with that? Okay. We'll pardon me?
It was all pretty straightforward.
Okay. We'll entertain a motion then to pass number 4, consent agenda A through I.
I'll make a motion to approve consent agenda A through I.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All right, Alicia. Take a vote. Alicia?
Aye.
Nate?
Aye.
James?
Aye.
And Clarence?
Aye.
And I also vote aye. Thank you. Number 5, action items. Set a date for public hearing for the 2026-2027 final budget. How soon? We just need to do it probably next month? Yeah, we do it at the next meeting? Okay. Any issues, any problems? Everybody's going to be able to, well, enough to pass. Okay, so let's go ahead and set a date then. That will be
June 8th, right?
Sorry, June 15th. No, 22nd. We rescheduled it because we're off on the 15th.
That's your Juneteenth, is it when you're taking that? Okay, I was wondering if that was going to be. Okay, so that would be for the 22nd of June at 6:30. We do need to have a motion, okay? Welcome, Mayor.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion
Okay.
to,
For the date?
for the
for
date
the
of
date.
June 22nd for the public hearing.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll give a second.
Okay, thank you. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. B, Resolution 02-2026, adopting the West Haven Special Service District tentative budget fiscal year for 2026 to 2027. What was that? Okay. Are there any questions, any concerns? Did you have a chance to look at the budget, how things were? I had a few questions, but they're all answered. There's some changes that's on that paperwork that we put here in front. Okay,
So the Canesville Meadows sewer line upsize, that's in addition. That's a pretty big addition.
that's a redo on that. We've discussed that. John, is there any
I
discussion?
guess
you
I
wanna-
just had a question. I wasn't on that.
Yeah, that sewer line is one of them that we've had slated for a while under question of whether we need to upsize it, and it's kind of been, it's been brought up that we need to upsize it. So the city has put together a road project to redo all of that, the roads through that Canesville
Oh.
subdivision. So we tried to step this up a year, push the road project back a year, with the exception of when we get the sewer line, the city will pay to have the road section resurfaced. Does that make sense? And then the following year, we'll focus on redoing the road, the southern part of that subdivision. We just want to make sure we get it in before we did the road.
Put the new,
It was already one that we knew was probably going to need, well, we were pretty sure we was going to have to update sooner or later. We just didn't want to do it after the road was done. So we moved it ahead to.
So you wanted to do what makes sense. How
We don't want to put a new road in and tear it all out again in 2 years.
often does that happen?
I know.
There's something to make sense.
That's good.
Okay. I
Okay,
agree.
thanks,
Good
John.
idea.
okay? Any other questions, concerns? Okay, let's take a roll call on that. So we'll entertain a motion to pass the resolution 02-2026, adopting the West Haven Special Service District tentative budget fiscal year 2026, 2027.
I'll make a motion to accept resolution 02-2026, adopting the West Haven Special Service District tentative budget for fiscal year 26-27.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. Mayor,
Aye.
Alicia,
Aye.
Nate,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Clarence?
Aye.
I also vote aye. Thank you. C, Resolution 03-2026, plat approval for the Klomp subdivision, Phase 3 amendment.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, go ahead,
I can
Ed.
speak to that. As you know, the board is charged with reviewing all subdivision applications, and you're a required signatory on the plats. Tonight, we have two on for the board's consideration. The first one is referred to as the Klom subdivision. Both of them are more on an administrative level than they are a functional level. The Klom subdivision was basically just resizing an existing lot. They moved, instead of a lot being split evenly, they sort of shifted it one way or the other. No impact in terms of development.
Okay.
Good.
I can speak to the next one, to the Bailey condominium. It's the same kind of an issue. This was approved originally as a single building, and they want to condominiumize it and split it into 2 units, and that's all the plat shows.
Okay.
So
So it's
again,
just
no,
going to be two units, not 25.
correct.
Okay,
And there's there's no intensification of the use or the building on these properties.
great. Thank you. Appreciate that. Any concerns, any questions, any thoughts with that? Okay, we'll go with action item C, the resolution 03-2026, plat approval for Klomp subdivision Phase 3. Entertain a motion to pass.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 03-2026 plat approval for Clump subdivision Phase 3 amendment.
Okay,
I'll second that.
okay, great. Do we need to take roll on that? We just, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. Then let's look at Resolution 04/2026, plat approval for the Bailey condominium subdivision amendment. Entertain a motion to pass that one.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 04/2026, plat approval for Bailey condominium subdivision amendment.
Okay, thanks, Clarence. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you. All in favor? Any opposed? Great.
Mr. Chairman, can I just have one question for Cerise? I wasn't sure. I didn't see the resolution. Does it authorize the chairman to sign the plat? Okay.
I'll do that after.
Yep.
Okay, thanks, Ed. Number 6, discussion, change order number 4 for Corio Incorporated for an extension on the completion date of the 2700 West Lift Station. Who would like to inform us on that?
I can. I
Okay,
know that Corio's here too to talk through this. So I haven't met some of you. I'm Amy Hughey, the district's attorney. 2 months ago, Corio came and asked for a change order to do an extension on the completion time. Would have put it in June 19th. They approached the engineers 2 weeks ago, not 2 weeks ago, was it 2, 3? About wanting to have an extension of that, of the extension for the completion date. There was a meeting last Monday regarding this with Corio, regarding those dates and of course what the contract states. They have asked to have this discussion put into next month's meeting because they are looking at wanting to refine those dates. However, the problem with that is the end date of the contract is June 19th. Your next date is June 22nd.
correct.
And so we just need to have a discussion as to, how you want to go about dealing with that. Because June 19th is end date and June 22nd is your next meeting date. It's a little difficult to have some of the discussion as to the whys, just because, well, I can let Brian talk through some of the whys as to why they're looking at refining the dates that they originally gave to the engineers.
Okay,
That's probably a good.
Starting point.
okay, great. Thanks, Amy.
Yeah,
Brian, welcome.
thank you. So I'm Brian White. I'm owner, half owner. My business partner, the other owner, Russ Nelson's here. But we recognize that it hasn't been on a real good foot. We recognized a little too late that things had not been going real well with our project manager that we had in charge of this. Do appreciate Amy giving us a heads up that the last meeting did not go well. We've looked into what led to that and have looked at the progress of the project up to this point, where we feel it needs to go for a responsible schedule to completion that isn't one that we just can't hit. I think that may be what has gone on, is that things have been submitted that haven't been good information. And so there's been concern, we understand concern that would be from the board on that, of just not good information to work with. And so what we came up with, going through in detail of where this project is going, we realized that even this extension that we've got in there is not far off, but not realistic. And the risk of having to ask for more time, nobody wants that. So with apologies that it's gotten to this point, we didn't recognize it quite soon enough. However, we do feel confident in the schedule that we want to submit. We requested a meeting to go over that with the necessary parties and are ready to talk about that. Are here tonight to simply say that we're on it and that we recognize that it wasn't off to a good start, and just wanted to see what further discussion that you felt would be necessary at this meeting. So
A question or two. Were you and your partner involved with the original plan of any of the dates especially on especially when they come back to you and ask about the contract. Were you involved with that or who was involved?
Our project manager, Brett Eggett, was the one who put the schedule together on that. And you're talking about the initial request.
Both, really.
Primarily on that one. Hmm.
So you were involved with the very original,
We were not very much involved in the details.
so you weren't from the original dates and then the extension dates, you weren't involved?
We were aware of proliferal, we were aware, he works for us. And so we were aware that there were issues in the contract and dates that, not too unusual for most projects, things, and just asking him, how's it going? And then recognizing just some flags that maybe due to his inexperience, he wasn't picking up, that things are not going real well. We had been kind of seeing that, but based on his previous record of projects that he's managed for us, he's done a good job at managing those things. I don't think that was necessarily the best job on this one. We're not saying that, but no, as far as day-to-day involvement, when we looked at his schedule, that what we've done this past week and seeing steps to completion, we could see that there was items on there from his previous one that just, there's not enough time on there. And so we've worked with him on getting subcontractor buy-in on schedules and when they can be there and getting commitments from them and then talking with them about, okay, what can we do at this point to incentivize this to go faster? Can we pay you to be there overtime? Opportunities for us to be there with our guys, we'll have overtime available to them when it's possible, but that was going through and seeing, okay, there's some stuff that's been missed here. And so it's an acknowledgement that initial schedule wasn't accurate enough. On previous projects that he's done, his schedules have been reasonable. And so it was just finding out on this one that it wasn't quite there.
I just find that, I think this is,
Extension, is this the fourth extension?
This will be.
this will be,
Okay.
I just find it, why now you're all suddenly getting involved? I'm like, this is the third or fourth extension? That seems, I don't know. I know you have an employee that you're saying did a lot of the work without you guys really being aware of it. He took a swag at it, because I don't know if I'm using the right words there. It
Sorry,
seems
what
like
do you
you'd
mean by
want to
that?
be more involved. This
Correct. Yeah.
it's affecting your business reputation and, right?
When we discovered that that's what was going on is when we stepped in to say, okay, we need to, it was not the case that we understood that things were going
Right.
poorly and that we didn't pick up on that soon enough. That's on us. Of course, that would be, a concern that, hey,
Yeah.
things aren't, when talking with him, I believe the request, we're aware of, there's been one extension. I don't know how many requests. I don't know the details of the ins and outs of the weekly activity of stuff like that.
Yeah.
But as an employee, can we be involved in everything that's going
No.
on? I don't think that's what you're asking either.
No.
It's can you be aware that things are going south? 100% we recognize in this one, we didn't catch it soon enough. And
Yeah.
that's what
Well,
where
I'm
we're
glad
at.
to hear you say it was on you, because I was just getting you were kind of putting the blame on your employee, but some of it is on you guys for letting this go on like that. You have to take some of that ownership, I would think. So, especially on the fourth extension.
I wasn't aware of how many extensions were requested. Again,
You know what I mean?
Well, to be
Okay.
accurate, there's been 4 change orders. 2 of them weren't they different? Hold on, I have them here.
Okay.
I'm going to say that. I'm going to look at
No, you're good.
that before I speak out of turn. So the first one was back in October, and there was some issues with fencing of the site, preparing an additional geotech report to cover the depths because there's some depth issues at the beginning. And that the change order was regarding a reduction in the total amount. So that was an extension of time that was having to do with those items. Number 2, had to do with, we requested a grate for the building interior hatch for a safety grate for fall and protection. And they were asked to provide a submittal for review and approval, and the total cost for the equipment and materials. And so there was an increase of cost on the contract. So that was change order 2. But that was, again, that
Correct.
is us. The third one, which just happened back, you approved in March, had to do with that we requested ladder rungs be added to the wet well wall for entry and exit of the wet well for safety. They asked for additional compensation for the influent pipe wet well wall penetration, and that was an increase on the contract. And well, and also with the ladder rungs, there was an increase because of those ladder rungs. And then you guys also voted on extending the substantial completion to 6/5/26 and final completion 6/19/26. So technically, there have been, this is the fourth change order, but this is only the second extension
Yeah,
of
Time.
that's fair.
And
Yeah.
Thank you.
so, yeah, just so.
And this time would be July. Am I correct? Was that the information that we had on our July 17th?
Well, and that, from what I understand, that's where the concern came, part of the concern came in. That schedule, there was a meeting, I believe a week ago, a week ago today, and the concern was, is this enough? And that's where we stepped in to say, let's look at this closer. And so we've got another schedule that we feel confident in saying, if anything, the date will come this way, but we don't want to turn in one
And then have to do it again.
that's overly optimistic. Yeah.
Right.
And so that's what we have as our current proposal, and thus the request to have that at the next board meeting. I understand the conflict on the dates, but
Okay. And that would be the 17th, if I remember right.
The 22nd.
22nd of July.
Yes.
Okay.
Their final completion date's the 19th. That's where the,
Okay. The number. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
So your newest schedule is, when's the completion date on the newest schedule?
it would be into August to be able to hand over the pump station to say, this is yours to operate. There are just steps in there. For example, the current one just didn't have enough time for electrical, different line items that needed to go out. And then as far as startup procedures do the pumps need to run for a certain amount of time before they can be handed over, stuff like that we've incorporated or into the schedule now. So, and looking at the previous schedule that was submitted, I believe back in January, the one that's been approved for right now, the current one where it stands, it showed the masonry being completed May 4th. It was completed May 12th. So it wasn't that far off up to that point. It was bringing it home that just needs some more time. It's just not going to happen as quick as what's on there right now, in our opinion.
Hey, John, what is this timing normal for this lift station to take this long?
It took a long time to get out of the ground.
Fairman, you probably should have John come to
Yeah.
the microphone.
Thank you.
Because it
Sure.
won't record.
It just, yeah, every lift station is different. These guys have built, I'm sure, enough of them to know that, but we just don't know. This one took a long time to get out of the ground. It's deep, the soils vary from lift station to
Uh-huh.
lift station. So to say, I think that's where they got off at first, is I think it took a lot longer getting out of the ground than what they initially probably had planned. But that's not saying that, you know, at another site, it might have went according to plan, you know what I mean? So
Right.
that, it's just really hard to time that getting out of the ground. The bigger concern and when I talked to Brett was, are you sure on the July 17th? I must have asked him 3 or 4 times. And he said, yes, that's plenty. I says, make sure it's plenty. He says, that's plenty in that meeting. And I thought, man, I don't know. I don't know if he's still seeing it that's nice to hear that you've reviewed that and you feel that it needs to go a little further. I was giving him the opportunity to do that there. I wanted to know, I didn't want to, he admitted that he felt pressured under the last one to make a timeline that was real aggressive to try to meet that, because he knew that there was a lot of talk about where he was going. So his last timeline he gave us, he was just tightening it down as tight as he could have, I guess. And he realistically probably should have not, he should have just come forward and said, hey, it looks like it's going to be at this time. And I think that's why we're facing this change order now, or this going forward. But yeah, I don't know if that's what you want. I don't know, as far as trying to time it out, like I say, it's not like you're building a model home or a home that's, you kind of know the time, you know what I mean? This is something that you just don't know. It's hard to judge from it, but
Do you feel like they listened to you along the process, that when you gave them warnings about that you're not hitting your dates and times or not?
we've had some run-ins with their crew, but that's, I mean, we've had some confrontations over there and different things, but I kind of hope we got that, we've crossed that bridge now and we go forward. The thing is, I want to have a good product. I need it to turn out the
Mhm.
best. I don't, you don't yell at the waiter before you get your food. Well,
Mhm.
I need this project to turn out really professional. I need to know that it's going to do what it needs to do. I guess in some cases, it's a bummer that it's taken longer than what the scope of work was. It's not like it's a road widening, or we've got to get school going. We got something that's time pressing. They've been good about keeping the lift station up and running. Nobody's flooding or backing up and stuff like that. It's, whether they're still there building an extra month or so, it's not hurting anything other than our time to have my guy over there supervising it and going by and inspecting it every day. And that runs up. So we want to get it wrapped up, but yeah, I mean, we need to move forward with it. I don't really necessarily am trying to smear their name, and realistically, it doesn't make us look good either. When we go out to bid on projects and stuff, people will be like, man, you don't want to deal with West Haven
Mhm.
because, so it's just one of them. We've got to navigate this in the best, most professional way we can, to where both sides come out with some good reputation out of it, I guess. So
Okay.
that's my
Thanks,
thought.
John.
Yes, John.
So Brian, what date are you proposing here then?
Currently, our substantial completion date is looking like August 18th.
August 18th.
But we want to meet with and go in more detail with whichever parties we requested at the progress meeting today that we have a meeting to go over in as much detail as, because that's due diligence on a project anyway. And to address your further point, I apologize if it looks like I'm trying to throw any of my guys under a bus. I wouldn't do that with our subcontractors either. It's us. It's us. There's no saying, oh, our electrician, our excavator. It's us. We have the contract. It's us.
Right.
So I apologize if it
No,
came
you're good.
across that way. But yeah, it's a tight site. We've built a lot of these lift stations, and they are tricky. I guess more so just saying, yeah, there's been some communication that hasn't been the best, and that's what I wanted to emphasize. But yeah, our company's been around for 11 years, but we've been in this industry for, oh man, Russ's whole career, and he's now spring chicken. But we know what we're doing, and you will get a quality product out of this, and we feel like we can finish strong. We don't doubt that at all. It's unfortunate it's got to this point, and that's on us
Okay.
for not jumping in there sooner and realizing this is not a friendly environment, and that's nobody wants to go to work when it's like that. I do understand our guys have been a little bit chippy, and we've talked with them about that. I don't think any company wants their guys being that way to anybody. So that they talk to each other one way that's different. But
Okay. Any other questions for Brian? Nothing? Okay. Thank you.
thank you.
Appreciate that. All right, we'll go on to number 7, the executive session. I entertain a motion to enter a closed meeting for the purpose of strategy to discuss the pending and reasonable imminent litigation to be held in accordance with the provisions of the Utah Code 52-4-205. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to move into the executive session.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I'll make a second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.